Hello and welcome to West Country Wanderings. Today it's part of my Devon series. We're here in Plymouth. In fact, we're on Plymouth Hoe, and as you can see is the magnificent Plymouth Sound behind me. So why not join me on a wander here today at Plymouth Hoe. Lots of activity out on the watermount. There is a Neville frigate just going out towards the Sound, and indeed there's already a Neville frigate anchored up in the middle of the Sound there. There's a small pilot boat going across, so we already have a busy morning here. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's pretty cold. It's only about 9 degrees this morning here in Plymouth. So what else can we see here from the Hoe? That there is Drake's Island, and just the other side of Drake's Island is the Mount Edgecombe Country Park, which in fact lies in Cornwall. Now this strange dome looking building in front of me at the moment has an interesting history. It was built in the 1980s and was opened as an interpretive museum by Plymouth City Council, but sadly they charged interest for it, admission for it, but it never made its way, and it closed at some point in the late 1990s, only to reopen in the 2000s as one of Gary Rose's, as in the TV chef. Sadly he's no longer with us, but it was one of his establishments, but then that is again closed now, and it's now still sadly redundant, awaiting a new lease of life. It's the open top Plymouth City Sights bus just left there. On that side over there we have Turnchapel, and over there we have Turnchapel Marina, and the building just in front of me now is the Plymouth Marine Laboratory. We're now looking down towards what's known as West Hoe. That's the Pier 1 cafe and restaurant there. There's also the coffee shack. Looks like a good idea. I might pop down there myself and have a coffee in a minute to warm up. It's pretty chilly here. Just moving around to the left, we have what was, or I think still is, the Chinese restaurant there called the Wet Wok, appropriately, as it's right on the seafront. And then there's an inner harbour with the waterfront pub just above it. Now, something interesting above that, and yes, you should be able to make that out. I'll just zoom in a little bit further, and there we have a ferry. That is one of Brittany Ferries. I'm not sure the name of that one. It's got a new branding on the top of it, coloured branding. I've not seen that before. One of the ferry ships is known as the Pont Aven. I can't remember the name of the other one. And that is on the route from here in Plymouth at Mill Bay Docks. And that goes off to either Santander, which is in Spain, or indeed Brittany. The name escapes me, the port that it goes to. I will drop that in below in the usual way. Now, just to left of the shop there, where there's an empty space, there used to be what was known as Quality Hotel. It was a late 1960s, 1970s monstrosity. Has now been demolished. You might be able to make out a little blue hoarding where it was. There's another apartment block, one with like glass and steel and that was built in the 1990s. To the right of that, however, is the Grand, and that was a very prominent Plymouth hotel. In actual fact, I remember going there in the, I think it was the early 2000s, for a meeting where I worked previously. It was a district meeting, and a couple of days later, sadly, that hotel burnt down. No, it wasn't anything to do with me. There was electricians working in the loft or near the roof, and there was some kind of electrical fault because of that, and the building had a serious fire. It was then restored, and sadly it's no longer a hotel but apartments. Have some beautiful buildings there. Quite iconic, stylish housing which was built towards the end of the 19th century. And moving around, we're going to have a look at these in a bit more detail. These are the war memorials here on Plymouth Hoe, and that's probably the most famous one there. Just at the back of that is another hotel just beyond that. I'm not quite sure. I think it was, in the old days, it was a Trust House Forte, but I'm not sure who runs that one now. I'm just moving around, and then in front of me directly is probably going to be too big for the lens I've got on the camera at the moment. Yes, it's Smeaton's Tower, and you can actually go up it. I don't know if it's open today. There it is in all its glory. Now, this is the monument dedicated to the Royal Air Force during the Second World War, and also the Commonwealth and Allied Air Forces. It's a long list. Tribute to all men and women of Great Britain, Australia, Canada, India, New Zealand, Rhodesia, South Africa, Belgium, Czechoslovakia, Denmark, France, Greece, the Netherlands, Norway, and Poland, the United States of America, the Union of the Soviet Socialist Republics, and those of many other nations who served in all commands of the Royal Air Force, Commonwealth and Allied Air Forces during the Second World War. Finally, it says honour to the 107,000 members of the Royal Air Force, the 84,000 members of the United States Air Force, and the 42,200 members of the Soviet Air Force who made the ultimate sacrifice. And beneath them, at the bottom base of the monument, it actually breaks it down in terms of the Royal Air Force, the full extent of those losses there in terms of the command. So you've got the ferry, the West African Command, the WAFs, the Balloon, Army Air Corps Maintenance, and it goes on. But it's a very poignant monument here dedicated to the Royal Air Force, and has particular significance to me as I served in the RAF for 10 years. Now, this monument here is the newest of all the monuments on the Hoe, and it was unveiled by HRH, the Princess Royal, in September 2019, so just a couple of years ago, and it's dedicated to the lives of the people that worked in the Merchant Navy, lost their lives in the World Wars, and the fishing fleets in both times of war and peace, so fishermen that have lost their lives as well. Now this is probably the most famous of all the monuments along the Hoe, and it's dedicated to Sir Francis Drake, and immediately behind that lies a bowling green. I wonder why. Now in front of me at the moment is the overall or combined war memorial, and it lists all the names of the people that lost their lives. Unfortunately, as I'm here this morning, you can probably see some steam rising up from the left of it, and that's because the stone is being cleaned as I'm here at the moment, so I can't gain access to show you around because it is quite a sight. It's as close as I can get at the moment. I'll just zoom in a little bit so you can just see the extent there. So yeah, it is, I think you can see there where that top lion is, that's been cleaned, but they're still obviously working their way around the side of the monument itself. But it's good to see that it's being kept and maintained in brilliant condition here. And obviously come Remembrance Sunday and Remembrance Day itself, next month that becomes the centre of the tributes and events here on the Hoe. So with that war memorial behind me here on the Hoe in Plymouth in Devon, I'll say goodbye for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider a like, subscribe, share, comment. Till next time, take care of yourselves. All the best. Cheers now. Bye bye.